Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. Listen to me carefully. In the next few seconds, I'm going to tell you something the BIS just admitted, and once you hear it, you'll never look at money the same way ever again. The Bank for International Settlements, the so-called central bank of central banks, just admitted that a common global settlement asset does not exist yet. Think about how insane that is. The entire world is running trillions of dollars across wires through banks, through clearinghouses, through token pilots, but the final settlement piece, the one thing that makes the system work, is still missing? And if you understand money at its deepest level, you already know exactly what this means. The BIS just opened the door, and the asset designed from day one to walk through it, XRP. This isn't hype. This isn't a meme coin shrill. This is the BIS literally telling you the system is incomplete, and we're going to break it all down today for you. So what did the BIS actually say? They said in plain English, despite decades of innovation, no universal settlement asset or platform exists yet. And until one does, the world will continue patching together fragile systems that break under stress. This reminds me of Brent Woods, 1944. Nations sat in a hotel in New Hampshire and decided gold and the dollar would anchor global trade. Why? Because without an anchor, the system collapses into chaos. That's where we are today. The BIS has tried everything. Project Helvetia in Switzerland, Project Dunbar in Singapore, Project Jura in Europe. All pilot programs, all test runs. But what do they keep running into? Interoperability issues, fragmentation, no single settlement layer that everybody trusts. Imagine a global orchestra. You got violins, drums, trumpets, flutes, but no conductor. That's the financial system today. Everybody's playing, but it's chaos without a central rhyme. The BIS knows this. That's why they're publishing paper after paper admitting they don't have it yet. And here's the kicker. They're not saying they don't need one. They're saying they haven't found it. That's the crack in the door. That's the signal. Because one digital asset designed for neutrality, speed, scale, fits perfectly into the BIS's problem set. XRP. Let's make this simple. Financial system has layers. At the top, you have messaging. Think SWIFT. Bank A tells Bank B, hey, I owe you $10 million, but nothing actually moves. It's like sending a text saying, I'll pay you back later. Below that, you've got credit and collateralized IOUs, tokenized treasuries, stablecoins. These things represent value, but they're not settlement. They're promises, and promises can be broken. The very bottom is a settlement asset. This is the gold bar exchange, the cash handoff, the final game over move. Once it's settled, there's no going back, no clawbacks, no counterparty risk. Here's the problem. BIS is telling you they don't have the bottom layer. Without it, the whole tower collapses. You can send messages all day. You can create stablecoins all day. But if the settlement fails, the system fails. Now think about XRP. Neutral. Final. 3 to 5 seconds. Transactions done. No takebacks. That is a true settlement asset, and that's why this BIS admission is so powerful. Of course, some of you watching will say, but Bitcoin's money, Ethereum's money. No, stop. Bitcoin takes 13 minutes on average to confirm a transaction. That's not settlement. That's waiting for a medieval horse rider to bring a message across town. Imagine a bank in Tokyo needing to settle with a bank in London, and they're stuck staring at the blockchain, refreshing, waiting? That's not serious. That's a toy at the institutional level. Ethereum? Sure, it's faster, but go try to send 10 million when a gas fees spike. Settlement cannot cost hundreds of dollars in fees, and settlement cannot clog when demand rises. This is where people get it twisted. Bitcoin and Ethereum are great at being digital commodities, digital real estate, but they failed as settlement assets. And the BIS knows this. They've tested them. They've looked at them, and they don't work for the role that's missing. XRP, on the other hand, was literally engineered for this from day one. That's why banks tested it before Bitcoin Maximus even knew what the BIS was. And that's why this conversation keeps circling back to Ripple. Here's where it gets juicy and spicy. While the BIS keeps saying they don't have a settlement asset, look at who they're working with. Ripple, MasterCard, SWIFT. The Clearinghouse, PayNet, CLS, Fidelity International. Notice the pattern? Institutions with one thing in common. They deal in finality and settlement. Ripple has sat at the BIS Innovation Hub table for years. They don't shout it out about it. They don't plaster billboards. They move quietly, like an empire building behind the scenes. Same story with the IMF. Back in 2017, Ripple executives were on the IMF's high-level advisory group for fintech. Circle was there. Ripple was there. And let's talk about the private sector. BlackRock tokenizing treasuries, Fidelity experimenting with settlement networks, banks piloting wholesale CBDCs. All roads are pointing towards a single question. What asset can bridge everything? Public and private, digital, fiat with finality. BIS won't come out and say XRP by name yet, but the breadcrumbs all over their PDFs. They've literally written that a regulated private solution, like Ripple's XRP ledger, could solve the liquidity and coordination problem. This is the part where FOMO should hit you, because we're living through a once-in-a-lifetime window. The BIS has admitted the game is missing a piece. Prototypes aren't cutting it. The experiments aren't solving it. And XRP, the asset designed to be neutral, liquid, and final, has been waiting on the sidelines for 10 years. Think of it like aviation history. The Wright brothers built the plane in 1903, but it wasn't until World War I that governments realized, wait a second, this technology can dominate the skies. XRP is the Wright brothers' plane. And now the financial war for settlement's beginning. Do you want to be the person who ignored it when it was pennies? Or the person who loaded up before the BIS finally announced the settlement piece? This is not about quick flip. This is about owning the one digital asset with a direct role in the architecture of the next global financial system. And moments like this don't come often around. So let me wrap this up. If you're new here, welcome. The BIS just told the world the settlement layer doesn't exist. They openly admitted it. And for anyone who's been paying attention, the answer has been staring us in the face. XRP. Now, if you still want to argue, fine. History will leave you behind. The same way people ignored the internet in the 90s, the same way people ignored gold in the 70s. Every financial revolution has its critics. Every critic ends up broke. For those of you who get it, pack your bags, stay patient, keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Because when the BIS finally picks its conductor for the global orchestra, you're either going to be in the front row or outside wishing you bought a ticket. Share this video with someone who still doesn't get it, because trust me, once you see the layers, you can't unsee them. Once the BIS admits what's missing, there's only one asset that fits the bill. XRP. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.